The city of Rome stands golden beneath the sun. The Tiber River glows like molten bronze, flowing past temples and marble palaces. Legionnaires march in perfect formation through the streets, their shields gleaming, their chants echoing across the empire's heart. The banners of the eagle fly high over a world that has already bent to Rome's will. But now, imagine a different Rome, a Rome that never stopped evolving. A Rome not armed with swords or catapults, but with nuclear weapons. The year is 100 AD. The empire spans continents. But beneath the marble surface, something far greater stirs. A secret buried in the catacombs of the Senate's most guarded chamber. A new weapon, born not of bronze and fire, but of atoms and fury. Julius Caesar once conquered the world with legions. Now his descendants command the power to unmake it. The first test changes everything. Deep in the deserts of Africa, under the scorching sun, Roman scientists gather in secrecy. They call it Ignis Eternus, the eternal fire. The explosion that follows shakes the earth and blinds the gods themselves. The sky turns white, then red. The sands melt into glass. And when the smoke clears, the world has changed forever. The Roman Empire now holds the weapon of ultimate power. Rome's expansion becomes unstoppable. The legions no longer march for months across hostile lands. They are now escorted by jets and tanks, guided by satellites orbiting the Earth. Cities that resist fall in hours, not years. A single command from Caesar's descendants can erase entire nations. Pax Romana, Roman peace, takes on a new meaning. It is peace through fear. The world trembles beneath the shadow of nuclear Rome. The Senate becomes nothing more than a formality. The emperor no longer debates conquest. He dictates it. His advisors stand in rooms filled with glowing maps, each red dot marking a potential target. The gods of Olympus are silent. Perhaps even they fear what mankind has created. And as the empire expands, a chilling question begins to echo through the marble halls. If Rome can destroy the world, what remains left to rule? Caesar Augustus III, a man raised not in temples, but in laboratories, becomes the face of this new era. His armies stretch from the Arctic to the deserts of Arabia. He commands fleets of nuclear submarines prowling under the seas, their warheads ready to strike at a moment's notice. The Colosseum, once an arena for gladiators, is now a war council chamber. The crowds no longer cheer for blood. They cheer for domination. But power breeds fear, even among the powerful. The Senate whispers of rebellion. Generals grow restless. Some say the emperor has become a god in his own mind, planning not just to rule the world, but to reshape it. And then comes the order. A strike not against enemies, but against dissenters within Rome itself. The eternal city watches as its own outskirts glow in fire. The message is clear: loyalty or annihilation. The people obey, but the fear grows. Across the provinces, cracks begin to form. Governors hoard supplies. Armies break from command. Scientists flee to hidden cities. The empire that once united the world now begins to fracture under its own weight. For every nation conquered, 100 voices rise in silence, praying that Rome's power will one day consume itself, and it does. One night, in the depths of the Imperial Command Center, an alarm sounds. A malfunction, a misread code, a single spark in a web of systems that stretches across the planet. The emperor rises from his throne, confused, then terrified. The screens around him flash crimson. Launch codes activate. Silos open. The sky over Rome burns brighter than 1,000 suns. The eternal fire, once Rome's symbol of dominance, becomes its destroyer. Missiles arc into the heavens, descending not on enemies, but on the empire itself. The shock waves tear through cities. Athens, Carthage, Alexandria, all consumed in light. The Colosseum collapses. The Senate vanishes in dust. The Tiber turns to steam. In a single night, the greatest empire in history ceases to exist. When the fires fade, the world falls silent. The survivors wander through ruins, blinded by light and haunted by ghosts. Statues of emperors lie half buried in ash. The great roads of Rome lead nowhere. Only the pyramids of their once conquered Egypt still stand, silent witnesses to mankind's oldest tragedy, that the hand which builds civilization also holds the power to destroy it. Centuries pass. The earth heals, but the scars remain. Archaeologists, thousands of years later, dig beneath the ashes of Italy. They find relics, fragments of metal, melted glass, inscriptions written in Latin warning of divine wrath. They call it the Day of Eternal Fire. But historians whisper the truth, that it wasn't the gods who ended Rome. It was Rome that became a god and couldn't control its own power. And yet, despite the destruction, one thing survives: the idea of Rome. Humanity never forgets its ambition, the hunger to rule, to expand, to conquer. Even in the future, as new empires rise with new weapons, the shadow of the eagle still looms. Because the Roman dream was never just about control. It was about immortality. And in the ashes of its own making, Rome achieved it. So, what if the Roman Empire had nuclear weapons? They would have conquered the world. But like every empire before and after, they would have faced the same enemy, themselves. If you enjoyed this reimagined journey through power and destruction, subscribe for more alternate histories where ancient empires meet modern firepower and the past is reborn through the eyes of the future. Because history never truly ends, it just waits to be rewritten.